Welcome to episode 2 of Best of the Worst. So this is a new series I created. I'm going to make a list of my top 10 songs taken from the 3 lowest ranked albums from a band's discography. So in my first episode I talked about Led Zeppelin, and today I'm going to talk about Metallica, one of my favorite bands of all time. And the albums I've chosen are probably the obvious ones, Saint Anger, Load, and Reload. So I'm going to talk about my top 10 songs from those 3 albums. So let me just jump right into it. Coming in number 10 is Frantic by Saint Anger. So the song I remember, it was released as a single. I think it was the band was kind of like tired of fans saying that they went soft with the Load album. So they tried to make like a really heavy album. And I think it's like they were going for a style that was similar to like a band Slipknot. But the problem with this album was the production and those like trash can guitar drum sounds. But this is a decent song. It's fast, it's aggressive. I really like the line, it says like, my lifestyle determines my death style. Then it goes like the tick tock, that part's really cool. Really heavy song. And this is the first album with Robert Trujillo. He's a really great bassist. He was originally in Suicidal Tendencies, and he played with Ozzy for a while. And really great music video, lots of like action. It's like an action movie, lots of car crashes. So my number 10, I wanted to choose at least like 1 or 2 from each album. So from Saint Anger is Frantic. And number 9 is Some Kind of Monster from Saint Anger. Pretty cool song, very cool music video. It shows scenes from a live show, and it has some clips from their documentary movie. The song is like slower than the other ones on Saint Anger. It does have a really thick and heavy guitar riff, really cool bass sound. It does have those obligatory James Hetfield like yeahs. The song has different tempo changes, kind of goes from like fast to slow, but that's why I included it on this list. Pretty decent song. And number 8 is Mama Said from Load. Something very different for the band. Metallica doing like a country western ballad. Music video is all very cool. James dressed like in a cowboy outfit. Has pretty cool slide guitar riffs, really great melody to the song. I like this ballad a lot better than Nothing Else Matters. And I also have another ballad further down on the list, kind of a strange choice, but I like this song a lot. It's kind of like a Leonard Skinner type of song. And James's vocals really work well for that like country western or southern rock sound. At number 7, I have Carpe Diem Baby from Reload. I chose this song. It has like a sound, reminds me of that like Alice in Chains, like from the Dirt album sound. Has that like sludge metal feel. The song is slow and heavy. The guitar riffs are like really great. I really like the breakdown at the 3-minute mark, going right into that guitar solo. I really love the guitar sound in that. Song is slow, it's heavy, and filled with like sludgy riffs. Coming in number 6 is Bleeding Me from the Load album. Very cool song, kind of a long song. It's a little over 8 minutes. I really like the keyboard sound. You don't really hear that much in Metallica, but you do hear it if you listen closely. It's kind of mixed very low. Kind of like a classic rock song. It's slow, a little grungy, and a little bit of that like psychedelic rock. But still, you got the heavy guitars. But they don't really overpower the song. It's not really like a very heavy metal song. And a really cool bass sound on the song, something that was lacking from Injustice from All. It does get kind of heavy as the song like moves on, and James does have some pretty cool vocal effects in this song. At number 5 is Low Man's Lyric from Reload. So it's probably a strange choice, but I really like this. Actually, didn't like the song when it first came out, but it actually grew on me over time. It has pretty cool acoustic guitars. They play an instrument called a hurdy-gurdy. It's similar to a violin, but it creates a melody that reminds me of like an old like spaghetti western. James's vocal style very like low, like that Tibetan throat singing. Kind of a strange song, but I like it a lot. At number 4 is The Outlaw Torn from the Load album. Very good song, album closer, and it's a long song, 10 minutes long. It's a little heavy, have that 90s grunge or alternative metal sound. Not very fast. It does have lots of interesting parts. The guitar is like a really great sound. There are some like isolated bass parts, and the song does feel a little slow at times, but it's a really great song. Really like the lead guitar parts during the breakdown, and really great guitar solo by Kirk Hammett. This is really one of the stronger songs from the Load album. Coming in number 3 is Fuel from the Reload album. Probably their thrashiest song from like the 90s. They play the song live often, probably like the only song like from the Load albums that does make it to their live set. Very heavy. It's a little more simple, a little more stripped down. It's not very like complex, but it's just very catchy. James incorporates a little more singing, and you know the vocals are a little more toned down. There's some backup vocals, but it's the riff. It's simple, but that's what makes it heavy. So that's why I have it ranked so high at number 3. At number 2 is Wasting My Hate from the Load album. Very great song, very underrated. One of the probably the heaviest song from the Load album. Closest to their thrash roots. This probably could have been like a Black Album song. This is one of those like underrated hidden gems. You know, it's faster, it's heavier, but it just keeps with the tone of the album. It does have a little bit of that like groove metal feel as well, and very underrated song. My number 1 is The Memory Remains from Reload. This was the first single from the Load album. The guitar riff to the song, very memorable, super catchy. Kind of a slow song, but the riff has a really great groove to it. Very melodic solo by Kirk Hammett again, but the best part is the appearance by Marianne Faithfull. She was a singer back in the 60s. She was part of that whole like British invasion. But it's the late 90s. She's a lot older, and her voice, you know, it's a lot like raspier, you know, after years of like drug abuse, and she had a really bad case of laryngitis like in the 70s, and her voice changed, and it really fit the tone of this song. So this is probably one of the most like underrated songs by the band Metallica. And that's it. Let me know in the comments any other Metallica songs from these 3 albums you would include on this list. I will link my first episode right there. So my next Best of the Worst episode will be from the band Megadeth. Will be from the Risk album, the Super Collider album, and there will be one more. It might be World Needs a Hero. I think that might be the 3rd least ranked. That's it. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John. Please like, comment, subscribe. And that's all. I'll see you in the next one.